Hi guys, welcome back to the Codefreak channel. Freak out as you code. So today we'll be making a website page. So let's look at the website. It's a survey website. You can see that here. Yeah. So these are the things which you can do. You can select any one of them, and then you can see some animation also I've tried to incorporate here. Yeah, perfect. I have the HTML page here created for me and have the CSS page here. So let's get started. So first I'll get in the boilerplate and then I'll name it Codefreak survey. Codefreak survey page, so that you can actually see the difference between this one and this one. All right. So yeah. So and then I'll link the CSS file. So the CSS file name is style survey. Yeah, .css. So that's also done. So first let's go ahead and make this a nav bar. So for the nav bar, what we will do is we'll first create a div tag, and we will put a class called nav bar. Perfect. So inside this div class, we'll again put another div tag, which will have a class called nav item. Yeah. So the first item is Codefreak, and let's make a second item that is about. You can make as many items as you want, but I'll be making only 2 items for this demo survey website that we are creating right now. Perfect. So I have all of this. So let me put an about here. Let me do that. Yeah, perfect. So now let's go to our CSS page and let's start styling the whole web page as such. Okay. So first let's look at this. Yeah, perfect. So let's start styling. So I'll first select the body. So I'll make the margin 0. I'll put a padding. That also I'll put it to 0. I'll set the background color to F1, F1, F1. So this is the color which I have chosen. Then I'll change the font family also. So to Georgia. Yeah, you can select the font of your choice. Then I'll put in a height, so that we don't need to scroll across as such in the page. So that is the idea behind this. So yeah, perfect. So let's just check out what we have done. Perfect. So the color has changed, and you can see there's no margin and there's no padding as such. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and select the nav bar element and give it some design. So first I'll put in some padding. So the padding will be 0 px. Then we'll put in 30 on the right side. Then we'll put in down also 0 px. Bottom is 0, and again left side we'll put in some 40 px. So you can change the padding as you want it to be. I'll put no margin because I want it to be fixed to the top and left. So then I'll use grid display functions here. Sorry, grid display elements here. So let me do that. Grid, perfect. Then I'll put in a grid template columns. I'll use that. Grid template columns, perfect. So what I'll do is I will put a 180 px and an 80 px, so that you can actually see that you have 180 px for the Codefreak, and then you have for about you have 80 px amount of space, because we are going to increase the size of that also. So yeah, let's do that. Perfect. So there is something called overflow, which we will keep as hidden. And yeah, let's save it and just check it out once. Yeah, so it looks good as of now. Then we'll put in a color for the text. Yeah, we'll set it to white color. Then we'll put a background color and set it to black. Then we have to, yeah, I think that's fine. Let's check it out. Yeah, that looks okay. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and make this bigger and do that with the help of nav items. Alright, nav item class. So yeah, that's there. So let's change the cursor first to pointer. So let's see the difference. Alright, so you can see that's what I wanted. Perfect. Then we'll put in some padding as I said previously, so 20px and again 20px. So yeah, that's good. Then we'll put in a border also, so border of 2px solid black color. Yeah, perfect. Then we will put in, we'll set the text decoration to none. Yeah, then because we don't want this underlining here, that's the reason why we are doing it, we'll put the color again to white. So yeah, and then we'll do text align. We'll do text align to the center. We'll align the text to the center. Perfect. Now let me save this and then let's check it out. Yeah, so you have Codefreak and you have about. When you go near that, you actually get the pointer change. Okay. So now let's go ahead and make the hover styling. So nav, so let's first select the nav item dot, so we'll use colon hover. Yeah, so now how do we want it to change? So that's what we are going to try to do. So we want it to be similar to this, right? So I'll just copy most of it. No, I'll just type it out again, so there's no harm in doing that. So padding, I'll put the padding to again 20px only, so I want the same padding. So then I want the background color to change to say the same color of the background. Yeah, this F1. Then I want to put in a border radius. Yes, I'll put it to 5px for now. Then I want to put in a border also, so border, I'll change that to 2px and a solid black. Yeah, then what I'll do is I'll put in a color, so I'll change the color of the text to black so that you can actually see the text. Perfect. So let me do that. So yeah, this looks good, right? So that's what we have here. Yeah, perfect. So now let's go ahead and try to make the other part. So let's go to the HTML first, do that. Yeah. So let's create another div tag with a container class. Yeah, let's do that. And then inside the container we'll have items. All right, so here is here again we'll be using the grid, CSS grid. So I'll have items. Yeah, so the first item will have a h1. So now we'll have a h1 tag and we will type in there, let's participate in the survey. Perfect. Then we'll have a paragraph tag and then we'll put in some lorem. Yeah, we'll put in some lorem apps. I don't want this much data, so I'll just delete some of the lines. Yeah, that much seems good. So that's it for now. Let's look at what has happened here. Yeah, so you got let us participate in the survey and you got some lorem ipsum data. Perfect. So let's go ahead and make the other divs and containers. Let's go ahead and make the other items. So I'll put in a div, I'll put in an item class. Yeah, this is what I want. So what I will do is I'll just copy this a few times. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted 5 questions and then I want the place where we actually put in the question and the radio buttons. So that is the 6th one. All right. So let me just put in the question thing here. Yeah, I'll just type in question. and then I'll put in the number. So let me do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Perfect. So we have 5 questions here also, so you can see that we have 5 questions. Let's put another class called the selector. So I'm just naming it selector. You can name it anything that you like. So I want this for all the question. I'll make this a form tag because we want data, right? So yeah, that will actually help out when we learn the backend part of it, or the JavaScript, which I'll be starting soon. Maybe in a day or two I'll start posting videos on JavaScript. So if you are watching this live, then that is the information for you. Else you will already have the videos of JavaScript. You can see it in the card there on top. Perfect. So let's continue. So let me put a div and a class called question. Perfect. So here I'll put in a question. So let's put the question to be rate my website. Yeah. So any question for now. And then let's put in some more div tags for the answers. So I'll put a class called answer. Perfect. So we'll have a few answers, right? So first what we will do is we'll try to put in the input radio button here, and then we'll put in the text or the label. So let's do that. So input tag. Oh, so the type is gonna be radio, and we'll give it a name called answer. Perfect. Then we'll put a label button also here. So label tag, and it's going to be 1 for now, option 1. So I'll just name it option 1. So I'll just copy and paste this a few times. Yeah, 5 options we have for now. So let me just change this to option 2, option 3, option 4 and option 5. Yeah. So, and then we have a button at the end. So let me put in a button tag. Yeah. And then let me put in a class also for it called button, and then type also. So the type will be submit. So let's just have some text in the button called save. Yeah, that also works out. So I guess that's more or less what the HTML stuff is. So yeah, that's it. So we have a nav bar, we have a container which contains item number 1, which is this, item 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which are questions, and the item 7 is going to be the main box. Let's select the container class. Perfect. So we'll put in a margin. So say we'll have a 0.5%, then 1% on the right side, then 0% down, and then 1% on the left side. Yeah, that's how I made it so that it looks good. So let's put in a padding of 2%. Let's use the display property. Let's use the display property for the grid, for making the grid. Then let's use the property called grid template columns. Yeah, and let's put in 20% and 80%. Yeah, that should look actually good. And what we will do next is, actually I had told you to use FR, right? So we can actually use that also. So 1 FR and 5 FR, that also works. So the next property is going to be grid gap. So let's put in 10px and again 10px. Yeah, perfect. Let's save it. Let me just refresh this. What happened here was that the whole screen is divided into a grid. The first part of the grid here is 20%, or the first column is 20%, and the second column is 80%. So that's what we have done here, or the first fraction is here and the remaining 5 fractions are here. Let us select the item class. Perfect. So I'll put in a padding for each of the item, 2%. Let me do that. Yeah. So now let me try to select the first one and make it like full screen kind of thing. So how do I do that? So I'll select the item class and then I'll select the nth child, or the first child in this case. Yeah, perfect. So what I'll be doing here is I'll be assigning the grid column. I'll be using that property and doing this 1 by 3. So it will start from the first column, and then it will end at the third column. Yeah, we have only 3 columns right here. And then let me change the background color also to something nice, maybe this. Yeah. So let me just save this and let's look at it. Yeah, so that's what we have here. Perfect. And maybe I want to make it rounded, so I'll put a border radius and I'll put a 20px maybe, or no, I'll put in 18px. Yeah, let me save it and let's look at it. And this kind of looks good, right? Let's make it full screen also once. So yeah, this looks quite good, the spacing part of it. So now we will try to make these questions work properly. So you know that we have assigned a class called selector for all these questions. So now let us select the selector class, and then let's put in some properties for that. So I'm using a display called block, and then we'll be using a width of a 95%. Yeah. Then what I'll do is I'll put in a height for each of them of 50px. So that's your wish, how much ever height you want, you can put that much of 50p. Then I'll put in a background color. So the background color is going to be black, right? So that's good. Then what I'll do is I'll put in a color for the text, so the color is going to be white. Then we will put in some font size also. So font size, let's put it as 20 pixels. Yeah, that looks good maybe. So add in some border radius of 15px again, or no, I want to put it as 10px. Yeah. So then I want to put an outline. Actually I don't want an outline, so I'll put outline, I'll put it as none. Then I'll use the cursor property and make it a pointer. Then I'll make a transition here, so it looks kind of good. So I'll use it for 0.3 seconds, and then let's make it linear. Perfect. Also there are 2-3 more things which I would like to do. So let's see how it looks for now. Okay, so it looks like this. So what I would like to do is I would like to make all of them maybe text center. Yeah, center the text first. Yeah, let's do that. Text align, center. Perfect. That looks kind of good as of now. So you want this to be here, right? So for that you can do one thing. So let's select this and put in the grid column so that we can actually, or the grid area itself, and then let's cover this full area for that. So I'll do that now. So I'll do that little on top so that it looks good. Yeah. So I'll select item, nth child, and maybe this is the 7th child, right? So you can just count it if you want. Then I'll use grid area. Yeah, use that property. So we wanted to start from the second row and the second column, and we want it to end at the 7th row and the 3rd column. Perfect. So let me do that. So 2 2 7 3. Perfect. Then I'll add in some background color for this also. So this, I'll use the same background color which was CCC. Yeah. Then I will add in some border radius, the same as the one which I used for this heading part of it. So that was, I think, 18 px. Yeah, let me just check that. Yeah, it was 18 px. Then again I'll put in a margin and I'll set it to 0. Yeah, so that, yeah, now let's just refresh this and see how it looks. Yeah, so we have all the questions here, and then we have our box here, right here. Perfect. Okay, so let's now try to make this hover work as such. So make it like rotate a bit. So what I'll do, I'll just select the selector class. Yeah, and I want to put in hover also here. So colon hover. Yeah, perfect. So let's do something called transform. So let's use that property, and then we'll rotate y along y axis, so by 30 degrees. So that's your choice, so you can do that. And then we will put in a shadow for the whole thing. So you can use the property called box shadow, and then I put 15 px, minus 15 px, 0 in the y direction, and then 15 px to make it 3D. And then I'll put in the color. So this is the black color, but I want to put in only some amount of the black color, so that you can just check that out also. So now let's just save it, and then I'll refresh it, and you can have a look. So yeah, you can see some kind of shadow, and you can see that it is turned. It looks perfect. All right. So actually I could have put in some padding for this, but let's come back to that a little later. All right. This question and the options proper. So that's what will be my next move. So let's select the question class. Perfect. So let's change the font size. Maybe make it a little bigger compared to the others because it's the question. So maybe 1.2 em. Yeah, that works good. And then let's align the text to the center. So text align, center. Perfect. Yeah. So let me just save this and let's look at our screen. Yeah, it's aligned at the center. Perfect. Let's look at it. Yeah, it looks good. Now let's go back to our. So now let's try to make the options proper. So yeah, let's do that. So I'll select the answer class. Perfect. That's what we had called it there. Let's put in a padding of 10 px on all the sides. Yeah, and then let's change the cursor to pointer. Perfect. So I'm just saving that. So now let's look at it. Yeah, you can see you have got some spacing there. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So let's try to make the button a little more better. So maybe add in some padding and make it center. So for that, let me just select the button. Yeah, I put in a class for that. You don't need to do that, but in case you have more buttons, then you can actually do that. So I'll put in a margin 0 and 45% so that it goes to the center for this padding. So based on this padding, I have done that. So there are many ways to do it, but I just wanted to show you that you can do it this way also. Yeah. So let me just save it and then let's refresh it. So I guess yeah, you can see the hover effect also. Yeah, so you can see this also. It looks perfect, right? Yeah, it looks perfect. So we have our first website which we have made here. Perfect. It looks good, right? So you can select only one of them, right? Okay, so share your thoughts about this website in the comments below, and tell me which part of it you like the most. Yeah, so subscribe, like, and share.